Why did the smartphone go to therapy? Because it lost its connection to the network. Now that's a good one, isn't it? But let's dive into why this joke is more profound than it seems. Nature and technology, two worlds that seem poles apart, are actually more interconnected than you might think. Let's take Holochain, for instance. Holochain is like a forest, and not just any forest, but a deep, dense, thriving one. In a forest, there's no central tree that calls the shots, right? Each tree, each shrub, each blade of grass, they all contribute to the ecosystem in their own unique way. They are all interconnected yet independent. They each have their own role, and they don't need to rely on a central authority to exist and thrive. This, my friends, is decentralization in its purest form, and this is the essence of Holochain. Now imagine a solitary tree standing alone in a field. It might be big and strong, but it's susceptible to all sorts of threats. A strong wind, a bolt of lightning, a swarm of termites, any of these could bring it down. And when it goes, it all goes. This is what traditional technologies are like. Centralized, vulnerable, a single point of failure. Holochain, on the other hand, is like our forest. Each node, each user, each application is like a tree in that forest. They are interconnected, they support each other, but they also stand independently. If one node goes down, the network doesn't collapse. It adapts, it adjusts, it carries on. It's resilient, just like nature. And just like in a forest, diversity is key. Each species brings something unique to the table, increasing the strength and resilience of the whole. In Holochain, each application, each user, brings their own unique value, their own unique perspective. They increase the strength and resilience of the whole network. So you see, technology isn't just about circuits and code, it's about connections, it's about relationships, it's about ecosystems. It's about understanding the wisdom of nature and applying it to our digital lives. Just like in nature, diversity and decentralization in technology breed resilience and strength. You know, Holochain is kind of like a honeybee buzzing around, connecting everything without a central authority. It's not just another bee in the technological hive, it's the queen bee with unique advantages that set it apart from the rest of the swarm. Now let's talk about decentralization. Like a bee doesn't need a central command to know where the best flowers are, Holochain operates without a central server. Each user or agent has their own chain, ensuring that no single entity controls the data. It's like each bee having its own personal map to the best nectar spots rather than relying on the queen bee's directions. Next, we have the agent-centric approach. In a traditional hive, the queen bee dictates everything, but in the world of Holochain, every bee is a queen. Each agent can create, own, control, and validate their data, making the system fairer and more democratic. It's a bee democracy, if you will. But perhaps the most significant advantage of Holochain is its energy efficiency. Traditional blockchain technology is like a bee that's had too much nectar, sluggish, and resource-intensive. On the other hand, Holochain is as light as a bee on the wing, consuming significantly less energy. It's the eco-friendly bee of the tech world, if you like. And let's not forget scalability. As a hive grows, so does its need for resources, but unlike a traditional hive, Holochain can grow without straining the ecosystem. It's like having a hive that can accommodate an infinite number of bees without depleting the flower fields. So you see, Holochain is not just another buzzword in the tech world. It's a game changer, offering a more democratic, efficient, and scalable solution to our technological needs. It's the honeybee of technology, buzzing around, connecting everything, and making life a little sweeter for everyone. In the world of technology, Holochain is the busy bee making connections without exhausting resources. Why did the spider go online? To create a website. Yet in the unique world of Holochain, the spider isn't just stringing together a simple website, rather, it's meticulously weaving a sophisticated, interconnected network. Welcome, my friends, to the grandeur of the Holo hosting network, a pioneering hosting platform that is firmly rooted in the cutting-edge technology provided by Holochain. Now we're going to venture deeper into this concept, delving into the intricate details of how it possesses the immense potential to disrupt the hosting industry by offering decentralized hosting solutions. Picture this. The traditional model of hosting is quite like a bird's nest, where all the precious eggs are carefully nestled in one unified place. Contrastingly with the Holo hosting network, each precious egg is given its own secure nest. It's a revolutionary concept, isn't it? Under this new model, we eradicate the absolute reliance on a central server and instead data is comfortably hosted on a vast network of users' devices. It's like a resilient spider's web, gracefully spanning across the world without any identifiable point of failure. Welcome to the world of peer-to-peer hosting ecosystems, where each individual contributes and reaps benefits of balanced equilibrium. Just envision a spider's web where each strand is deeply interlinked with the others, thus creating a strong, robust structure that is highly resistant to external pressures. Now let's imagine the potential disruption this could bring upon the hosting industry. Gone are the days of dependence on costly central servers. The constant worry about server downtime will be a thing of the past. What you'll have instead is a self-sustaining, completely decentralized hosting network that is as resilient as a spider's web. This is a web that is thoughtfully by the users, specifically for the users. Mirroring the characteristics of spider's web, it is both highly flexible and incredibly strong. It has the capacity to seamlessly, in order to accommodate an increasing volume of data, all without putting any undue strain on the system. We're talking about a hosting solution that is not only scalable but also sustainable. It's a new era in hosting industry, revolutionizing the way we think about data storage and distribution. So remember, in the constantly evolving world of hosting, the Holo hosting network is like a diligent spider, skillfully weaving a web of nodes without any central authority. It's not just creating a website, it's revolutionizing the hosting industry. Imagine if trees could talk to each other. Well, in the world of Holochain, they sort of can. Now let's delve into the potential of Holochain and the transformative impact it could have on our lives. For starters, think about decentralized social networks. Picture your favorite social media platform, but without the central authority controlling your data. With Holochain, each user is their own tree, storing their own data and choosing who to share it with. It's like a forest where every tree decides which birds nest in its branches. No more third-party data harvesters, just a self-sustaining digital ecosystem. Now let's take a step further and envision a world with supply chain transparency. Consider how you buy a loaf of bread. You see it sitting on the shelf, but do you know where the wheat was grown, how it was processed, or how many miles it traveled? With Holochain, every step in the supply chain could be tracked and verified. It's as if every grain of wheat could tell its own story, from the field to your table. Imagine the ripple effect of this transparency across various industries. In healthcare, it could mean verifiable patient records and efficient service delivery. In finance, it could translate into secure transactions and traceable funds. In education, it could enable accessible learning materials and verifiable qualifications. The potential applications are as diverse as the species in a rainforest. The beauty of Holochain is that it's not just a tool for developers. It's a tool for everyone. It's like giving a voice to every tree in the forest, allowing them to share their stories, their experiences, their wisdom. And the more trees that join the conversation, the richer the ecosystem becomes. Holochain represents a shift from the current centralized internet landscape to a more organic, decentralized one. Its potential lies not just in its technology, but in its philosophy, a belief in the power of community, collaboration, and mutual respect. Just like trees in a forest, with Holochain, every user is an integral part of the ecosystem. If a tree falls in the forest and no one is around to hear it, does it make a sound? In the world of Holochain, every event leaves a trace. Imagine a future where our digital interactions mimic the harmony of a forest ecosystem. Each user, like a tree, stands tall, unique, and independent, yet interconnected in a vast network. Holochain could be the sunlight that fuels this digital forest, fostering growth with each interaction, each transaction, each connection. In this new world, you would have unrivaled control over your digital self, like a tree governing its growth rings. Your privacy would be as respected as a bird's nest hidden in leafy branches. Decentralized applications would flourish, akin to the diverse flora and fauna across different forests. And just like a forest, every action in the Holochain ecosystem would leave a trace, an indelible mark of your unique contribution to this digital world. So here's a thought for you. What would a world look like where technology mimics nature's resilience and diversity? What could we achieve with Holochain?